I haven't even gotten on bike this year. It's in the new garage, and I'm looking at it every time I'm going to the can't ride it.
Only this road is
I look at it as a good way to start college.
You've been making the car seat for 5 years.
I'm sure you can find plans online.
I'll take that for now. And we can either pay via credit card or we can accept PayPal, which I'm kind of.
well, it's also that
We'll get you a receipt too.
Okay.
Assuming that you can reimburse on it.
this should hold
Great.
mic now, yes?
We'll talk about it at the break. Okay. So we'll talk later at the break. I got to get this going. So who's our sergeant at arms today?
Past president is
So to the number?
what year? It's like that's the order of.
No, it's a wow, but nobody.
Oh,
Yes, it's show. It's exception, it's show. Can I put schedule on?
Yep. Don't close everything. Don't close anything.
Because it's so slow, I close whatever is speaking there.
Did you close my?
Don't close anything else. Just let go.
I
I was gonna say something when you walked up, but I think Alex will close those. They're loading, it says loading.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. Let's go.
All right. So today is August 4th. Welcome to TechMasters, and I would like to welcome here our president, Vince Ballinger.
Thank you, Alex. Welcome everybody to the Tuesday, August 4th edition of the TechMasters Meeting. You're all please join me in rising. So, if you care to do so, please join me in including our flag and reciting the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Today's timer is Alex. Alex, do you have an open invitation?
Welcome to TechMasters. Please participate vividly and enthusiastically. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. All right,
With those.
sure. Wait, we got to be a plenty of time. During the break, okay, I guess it's gonna get down. Let's go. Timer material, right, sounds good. All right, so, welcome everybody. We have a guest now, that actually finished his membership package. Thank you very much. Not only that, but we have input from another guest who is also going to be joining us. And if you all remember just who the phone is going to back free for our goal, right, is to double our membership as far as people showing up, and that is both 7 and 14. We have, is that what you said? Huh? Yes.
You're gonna get one.
I told you there's another guest.
Oh, another show. I thought that was Jesse.
Who has expressed interest.
What about Mike Emo?
We should talk to him. We should talk to him. Back. So, sounds pretty good. Definitely well on our way to getting back to where we've been. All right. Let's see now. So, sure here. All right. Let's see. So, do we have past events from last?
I've got it.
Yes. So, Mike luckily is not in the spot. Luckily,
Mr. President, last week on 7/28, I believe it was the last meeting we had a total of 7 attendees. We talked about teletraining, the Windows 10 launch, this announcement. This was a very short 25 minutes. We had one speaker, or we had 2 speakers last week, Leah and Jordan, and 2 evaluators, Alex and Mohammed. There was Leah won the best speaker, Mohammed won the best evaluator, William won the Pleasant Mouse, Nick won the Wise Old Owl. There was no business or motion that needed to be be acted upon, so there's no reason to be brought back up. And word of the day was murdered.
Mike, let's see, as far as old business, there is a piece of old business that is sitting on the agenda, and that is we have discussed conceivably changing or removing the pledge of allegiance. I think we should probably put it up. It's likely it's up to my discretion. Object. If anybody objects to bringing it back up, without objection, I will vote.
Okay.
Oh, you object? All right. Now, as far as after that is concerned, let's see, I don't think we have any other old business. We have any new business. Okay. A couple of things that the chair would like to do. I did do some rule searching, and technically I can't bring up motions, but it would be best to do that in Thursday. So I would like to entertain. For example, I unilaterally decided we would have a speech contest on August 18th. Do we feel that we need to have a motion for that?
Mr. President, I move that we have a speech contest on the 18th.
Fantastic. That's a great idea. Is there a second to that motion? Okay. All right, second. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, it seems to me that if we're going to have a speech contest, we need to have participants, so we ought to allow the president to identify and pick some volunteers and sign them up.
It's a fantastic thing. Any other discussion?
What is the speech contest? Humorous or is it?
Well, Brett, if you had bothered to check, you know that I had already sent me all of this. We go about the next tours. So on August 18th, it was, so by September 10th, it was best friend of our area. Governor, director, area director. So our area director told us that there would be an area speech contest, and that they want everybody to try to have their own club contest. So I said, hey, obviously, we'll pass that. So let's see if everyone will here. Any other discussion? Of course, next one.
Mr. President, at most of these contests, there are usually two different speech contests at the event. Humor speech contests would be paired with either evaluation or the tall tales. You know if there's a second contest along with the humorous?
Good question. I don't recall hearing a secondary contest. It's equal to the evaluation. So I would definitely get back to everybody in the club today with that answer. My assumption is it won't be tall tales. I was pretty sure that I only heard anything about it. There may be evaluation. So I'll get back to that, but my assumption is the only thing I ever remember is
Mr. President, is this kind of only for our members of our group, or are we inviting other clubs?
No.
it has to be a club contest, and the winner goes to the.
Okay.
I believe that I forwarded out I believe that I have sent out links to, and when I say believe, I know for a fact that I sent out links to the speech contest rules, so if you have any further questions. Also, there is another portion of the meeting that the humorous speech contest will be brought up a little bit more. I wanted to just launch that off. Okay, so beyond that, so we still have this, we have an action item on the floor here. Yes, there's a motion on the floor. We have is there any discussion?
Do we have enough people that are interested in presenting the humorous speech of the contest?
We have people on the meeting right now, and if we don't have volunteers to replace 2 of the 3, because one of them are the feature in that contest, but if we don't have volunteers to replace the other 2,
What's the date of the area contest?
Area contest September 10th. Yep. So they wanted it done by the end of the month. As soon as that. Why does it? So, any other discussion? Fantastic. I believe like call the question. Why do you do that? Somebody else?
You can just call for a vote.
That is all for
Further
vote.
discussion.
Like, why can you do that?
I call for a vote.
All right, fantastic. All those in favor of holding a speech contest with three speakers, determine one of which are here. All say aye.
Aye.
All vote. Fantastic, motion carries. All right, so in 2 weeks now, we'll have a speaking contest. I will get all the fine details to everybody later today. If you would care to do so, please volunteer. It could be about anything. Now, it is going to be, since we're going to be going on to the next level, I would suggest talking about finer detail points in the C# or something like that. Maybe open it up a little bit and take it as.
Include F sharp.
Huh?
Include F sharp.
Yeah, that is not. Or maybe something like kids stuff, like PHP or JavaScript kid stuff, right? Like HTML, like
Something
that.
humorous.
Humorous like Java, right?
Or snowball.
All right,
Let's,
moving along. I don't see any other motions that need to be done here, so we're gonna talk about announcements. Anybody have any announcements? Okay, or I have a question? All right, great. You have your hand inside. All right, so survey, we had discussed, we had talked about a survey and punched around a little bit. I have an update on the survey, which we reach out to past members and see what we can improve upon. I added a small question. Rick, did you add anything?
Not the document, all of that.
All right, fantastic. So by the end of next week, right now, we'll have that finished. I'll try to add more to it. The welcome packets, I bought a whole bunch of notebooks there, and I ordered a whole bunch of materials, so we should be able to have welcome packets. Anything else here? Oh, one thing I had talked about real quick is that I would actually like to reach out. Good or bad. I'll do that. Gilded Gavel. Leah's not here, but she had a great idea last week that we should try to get the Gilded Gavel. So here's a couple of, I also, I guess, I should but so I had an idea. Next week, I'm not going to be here because I'll give the presentation at that conference. And that's not big enough to do. But I had an idea. That's one meeting. And instead, I'll go to I believe I sent out an email about it, about where we're going, about what the meeting is. But there's a meeting on Monday morning where the Gilded Gavel is. Basically, contest. I don't know if she got into too much of it. But the idea is that there's a Golden Gavel or whatever, and it's kind of like a traveling troupe. And in order to get it, you have to have a whole bunch of people show up in that club as guests, and then you take the gavel. So the idea would be, instead of having everybody be here on Tuesday, everybody there, which is someone's have that on Monday morning, right? Now, I don't know if I motion for this, but that's not a good idea. Everybody show. Now, remember, this other club, once a month, there's I think they're called helicopters. These people are really great meeting, and they have, they only run once a month, and they're really well prepared, really experienced. You probably learn one thing. It's great to have it all there, yeah, and then have it here, and then it's also going to encourage a lot of people to come to our club.
I'd like to make a motion that we pull.
I would love to do that, but that would be outdoor. Sure, that's what we do that. We'll do that. We can bring up motion. That'd be fantastic. Hopefully we can get to this. Does that sound like a good idea? You don't have to go to one. Certainly, I would appreciate it.
One starts and
I think 6:30 to 9 o'clock. Feel free to show up late. 6:30 a.m. to 9 o'clock a.m. So similar time frame to ours, a little bit earlier, but like I said, feel free to show up late. Doesn't matter. We're going to be able to have lunch. So if everybody shows up, and then you don't have to have a meeting next week. But if you don't, if you do have a meeting next week, I want somebody else to webcast, and I'm going to be listening in. I'm going to be logging into that. But we'll have a motion at the end. Any other announcements? There are a few meetups that are going on that I think would be could end in 10. I would suggest people go to tech.min. I've been doing some more things. There's something called Hackers and Bounds, which sounds like a great idea for us. I can't go to my wife really after this thing, but I'm totally over that. There's something called Great Ladies. I am not the target market for that, but it's not here, but I would suggest something like that over there. Not the target market, not here. Lean Startup Meetup, if you remember Gail Locke, if you remember for a while, it'd be nice to go not only talk to him, but get people who are really animated and interested in themselves. But that's in a couple of weeks. We have time to talk about that. And of course, I think that's it for announcements. Anybody else have anything to add? So the postmaster today here is really awesome. If you please help me give a little warm welcome and to Will Austin, today's postmaster.
Thank you, Vince. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today?
Fantastic.
I know I woke up today and it was a little on the chilly side. I was actually thinking about riding the cycle again. Decided next time. Sorry?
I forgot an announcement. I brought food.
Some treats. Bring them up.
We're gonna leave here. We're gonna leave here. Eat them at the break or whatever.
All right, so it's my role as Toastmaster. I kick off the meeting somewhat, and I also set the tone for the meeting. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce our court jester. I'm going to check our schedule. That would be Alex. To start our meeting off with a little levity.
Isn't the one old story came back? Horror story as a joke. Where go two best buddies, Pig and Chicken? One day Chicken said, "Why don't we start a restaurant?" Pig asked him, "How would we name the restaurant?" And Chicken said, "Bacon and eggs." And the Pig said, "Oh no." And Chicken said, "Why?" Because it said, "I will be committed and you will be only involved." And this is our horror story of recording ground. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I see some head nods out in the audience. A little play on this from technology there. Thank you. Our next role is the 1-minute Toastmaster. Consulting my schedule. I do not see.
A little harder.
1-minute Toastmaster.
Look a little harder. Look a little harder. 14, row 14. B-I-N-C-E.
Oh, this.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I will need a computer here. As mentioned before, I was going to bring up the humor speech contest to feed you some information about it. So, when I'm saying yes, we're going to have a humor speech contest, what I want to do is actually point out how important it is for Toastmasters to enter into it. When you enter a speech contest, you're practicing a lot of things. You're going to be going to different clubs and different things with different types of people. You're going to be going in a whole lot of different ways. Now, a couple things I wanted to mention were when you join a speech contest or help create one and run one, you can get a whole lot of credit for your competent leader. So, for example, I highlighted the helping organize a speech contest, the contest chair, or being the chair of the speech contest. So being in one of these three things would allow you to get one of your projects done for your competent leader. Now, it's a lot more difficult for the competent leader to not do it. So if you want to do that, our veterans CC, your goal this year is to get a competent leader, please look at doing something like that. And that I'm going to turn it back over to Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Our next role will be the invocation time. Please stand up and explain your role. Who does invocation time?
Today's invocation timer, I will provide invocation for closing door, but also as a timer, I will time everybody's speeches. And first I was timing 1 minute Toastmaster, second I will time table topics. Third, prepared speeches and evaluation. So for table topics, we are going for 1 minute 15 seconds. So if you are at 1 minute, you will have a green flag, 1:15 yellow flag, 1:30 red flag. For speeches, it depends, but usually 5 to 7. 5 green, 7 red, 6 yellow. And for evaluation, we go in with 2 minutes green and 3 minutes red. Thank you.
Yeah. Next role is grammarian, and I do see that role is open. We have a standard grammarian. Anyone have a word today they would like to offer? Word of the day, frangible. Old one. There's all these nice handy sites on the internet for this. Infrangible. Not capable of being broken or separated in parts. Not being infringed or violated. He declared firmly that he lived his life by a set of intangible ethical. Then I'm going to let Tony sit down briefly before I introduce our next role, which is table topics. And today that is Tony as well. Sometimes it's interesting to take a look at this wonderful magazine that we all get as members of Toastmasters. Sometimes we get some very timely articles. And I thought for today's meeting, the table topics today, it might be interesting to take one of the articles out of here and use it as a launching point. Well, actually, I might actually go with a couple of the articles. One of the articles talks about a top-notch turnaround. One club rebuilt and nearly quadrupled its size. Does that sound like something that would be of use to us? Is that something that we're missing a little bit of? In this article, the author describes how her Toastmasters group went from a huge group to about 7 members. Now, we're probably a little bit better than that. I think our list shows that we have 15 members, but I think about 7's about what we normally have show up these days. So maybe we could take and learn something from this. And to that end, I thought I'd like to take some of the suggestions that are in here and talk about them. So, yeah. One of the things this particular club said is, we established an active presence on social media. They signed up for Meetup, Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn, club website. What's one thing you would like to see done? You think our club could do in social media and do better?
A lot of opportunities to do better on social media. Many sites out there. I don't think we're on LinkedIn. Are we actually on any sites other than
Twitter, Facebook.
You know,
but not on
we
LinkedIn?
do have a link.
I think we have LinkedIn.
My invite's been
Yep.
waiting for.
We don't have to log for it.
So we need to.
Coordinate
Well, we
those.
should, and definitely meet up. Are we meeting up?
Of course.
Well, we are. City of actually shows how much I know. If I would go by this, I would go ahead and know. But obviously, you remember the perfect place to do successful married man.
Oh.
And I know a lot of people use that. You know, well, some people are not married. But see, how many people are married here?
But why you call him?
Well, I'm just asking. So, yeah, some kind of but anyways, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the thing about the clubs that don't, the blues members, I think they don't do anything. They don't do anything. I think with the Vince's leadership, I can feel the wind changes, or what you call it. I can feel that they actually are more proactive now than we've been in years. So hopefully, we'll expand more of the social media again.
And related article, they have this thing called social media tips for your club. And then they have a sidebar. I would recommend this article. 10 tips for a great club website. What tip would you add to the sidebar?
Question is, what if I would add sidebar? Yeah, for example, look at our website. On the right, left-hand sidebar, you have all important links like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It goes to our pages. I'm not sure about LinkedIn. Also below, we have area, district website, and other stuff. So this is very good. It's interesting that on Facebook we have around 100 members of a group, or maybe even more. But the interesting part, lots of people join it, but majority never came. Old location, new location. So is this phenomena, or is it coming here is sort of infrangible rights of members only, and anybody as a guest cannot come here and observe our meeting? I don't know what it is. It's so hard to be here. Maybe we need to see. We also have about 50 people on Meetup, and as you can see, hardly 1/10 come here. So maybe where is the secret sauce behind only presence on social media? Maybe there is something else, and this is what we need to figure out. Thank you.
One of the topics that TechMasters suggested is having themed meetings, such as a Don't Wear Socks Day or a Chocolate Cookie Day, and to design things around that topic. Could you suggest a couple of topics that you would like to, one or two topics that you might like to see us use as a theme, and why? Tell us why.
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master. This is an interesting question. What would be something that I would suggest as a theme for a Toastmaster? I was able to attend another college Toastmaster meeting when I was working in a forum. They did something similar to this. I only attended a handful of meetings, but I do remember they had a theme of the day. What would be something I would suggest? I would suggest something such as all electronic devices face down day. Some of us, some specifically, do need an electronic device to take notes, but it would cut down on the distraction. And of course, our videographer in the corner there, Vince, he also uses his electronic device. Something that's maybe a little more attainable. How about everybody bring their manual? How about everyone wear the same khaki and blue denim shirt in the 80s? Something like that. That would add some more life into it. I like this idea. I'd like to see if we can take it a little Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Since you've actually had a membership application done, one of the points that she makes is in her formula for success. We greeted our guests and treated them like love. As somebody who's just joined, what could we do better with somebody attending as a guest?
Thank you. I guess starting off, you know, just you guess as Your Majesty, you know, wonderful. I very much feel even more so than now I can do. Yes, bringing treats is a wonderful idea, especially since I did not eat breakfast yet, so I'm looking forward to that break. Things that's good to be make guests feel more welcome, at least for my personal experience. And part of this is we haven't gotten a chance to yet. Letting me know what maybe is coming up in weeks and months, making sure that I have any questions or want any questions that I have opportunity to ask them and answer, or maybe sharing your own experiences as someone who is maybe in TechMasters for a few weeks, a few months, a few years. What did you find helpful when you were first getting started? Some other ideas? Maybe let me know what different time saw for the different parts. What green kind of the good, like you're in a good time? Is it just kind of jumping right to yellow? Okay, there it goes. So those would be some of the things.
And finally, one of the things that is listed here as the top 10 top targets is recognizing our members. Our members are recognized for their contributions and accomplishments. What accomplishments, what kind of recognition would you like to see our club give out to our members?
Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master, fellow TechMasters, and no longer guest. What kind of recognition would I like our club to give to our current members? First and foremost, I would like to see more people completing manuals and moving along, more competent communicators, competent leaders, advanced communicator bronzes, etc. And I'm certainly at fault in that regard. I should have gotten my advanced communicator bronze and competent leader by now. I've done pretty much everything I would need to do to accomplish those. I just haven't always marked that all down. So I'm going to get better about that. And I'm going to hopefully try to instill a culture of being more on the ball about that. So not only would I like our members to get there, but I would like us to help champion that so that we will be more in tune to get that, and of course we'll be able to recognize people. The other thing is, and this is something that I really need to work on, is if something goes right, I'm like, thanks. I really need to gush a little bit more, like, wow, you did such a great job, thank you so much, as opposed to just like, thanks, great, and then move along. So I would like to see not only the club in general, but myself, really recognize people for the positive things that they do for the club. So for example, when Brett fixes the award that he broke, then we can say, yay, thank you for fixing that award that you broke, Brett. That kind of thing. And I have plenty of other things to add, by the way. As far as social media is concerned, we need to coordinate social media, all social media under the LastPass account for the TechMasters at Gmail account. That I'm starting to do that, but I promise I'm going to get that all done within the next couple of weeks. And should we spam everybody on social media? We got like 100. We got way more than 50 people on Meetup. I get like one person every other day joining, and then I respond to every last one, and I get 1 out of 10 people replying to my response to them. So maybe we need to just spam them. When it comes to meeting themes, I want it to be something that helps you accomplish a goal that you have as a Toastmaster. So think about that. Thank you, Mr. Tabletop Master.
With that and in recognition of the time, I'm going to be Postmaster.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to ask the speakers to come up and the evaluators to come up, as well as the general evaluator. 5-minute break.
All right. I'll crack into whatever you want.
We need to stand in.
One thing.
General evaluator.
We, with each member, we want to offer the option implement. We have a mental program by usually pretty informative, but I want to.
So, who is speaker?
But I want to. So I adding about that. Anyway, so I'm going to print out something. I'm an evaluator. I'm an
I'll be evaluated by next.
Okay, so Mike, you got this is about it.
Okay, nobody votes browser. Yes, I don't know about I'm speaking
Especially on the
Anyone want
in general,
to be
that's a hard evaluation.
Going after the output, you'll get
I have one app on my and you didn't want to this thing here.
Jamie sets the order.
What's
the order? So you've got different things.
Just once at the side, once in a way.
Generally evaluate
focuses on
On the speeches, right?
So these are the next ones.
How can decide
All right, I'll pick. Mike goes first.
Yes.
So we have today. I have actually had to go through my teaching.
my first? Right. So I can.
I'll give you a little time. I bring all this and I bring it. Oh, shit, and you guys will like my choice. I will go to Big One and get cheap stuff. I'll try to get as much organic as possible, and everything's gonna be like on. I feel like it's missing. We've been doing this for a couple of years and then stop.
Yeah.
One of the things that was
Swan. It's not fish, that's rats. I'm not like that. It's big. Yeah. It's like feel numbers. This is why we find it.
But we do it well.
No.
You available for
So anyway, the idea is we're both trying to, I'm gonna take your notes. Every time I say, I'm gonna do something. Stop it. It's okay. And then I'm gonna be back. And then I'll put it in.
When you can do that, and when you get it, you don't have any.
Just
Once that's done, so absorb it.
And the pressure will go something.
And just last
Double check online.
in 1 month.
Very cool. Just so I can start in this. We got.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Order is needed.
All right, welcome back from our break, everyone. Our first speaker today is Brett Estabrook. And I did not get his title, but I will tell you a bit about Brett. He is a very accomplished speaker. His title is Fit Technology. Very accomplished speaker. If you've been to any of the user groups or any conferences in the area, you can talk about that. Brett is a lot of the reason why I joined Technologies. He has a very gentle, relaxed presentation style. Please help me with Brett.
So I'm not talking about Silverlight or QB, which I kind of squished that out here in my indicate, that technology. I'm actually going to be talking about something a little bit different. I had the opportunity a couple weekends ago. I have a very good friend who's in Ghost Hunt. Everybody know what that is? Okay, so the Palmer Hotel in Stock Center, right past St. Cloud, Alexandria, hosted a Ghost Hunt. So when he asked me to go, I thought to myself, kind of skeptical about this stuff. But, a Saturday night away from trying to TV, a bar, some darkness, and something that I've never experienced before, why not? Sounds like a great time. So, before, my impression of ghost hunters were, a bunch of strange people walking around in dark places, trying to validate something that they already believe but have no proof. That's kind of was my. But I said, oh, it'll be fun, I'll go. What I didn't expect was to meet this guy. Anybody know who Bill Chappell is? Bill Chappell started off as an electrical engineer, moved into the robotics field, then worked a whole bunch in the semiconductor industry. And at age 47, was a guy came to him and said, I challenge you to create a device that can communicate with the dead. He's also very skeptical about the stuff, but he said, oh, it's an interesting challenge. So in his mind, he thought, okay, let's look at some of the theories of how these people think ghosts can communicate. Let's build some technology that can work with those ideas and see what happens. He became very successful with this. He created a few devices that were considered innovative for these people. And because of that, he's actually the guy that writes all of the gadgets and all the stuff that they use in Ghost Adventures TV shows. Anybody watch that on Travel Channel? It's a really popular show, I guess. I've watched a few episodes. It's kind of entertaining for me, not really that great of a show. But all of the interesting gadgets this guy does. So when I walked in, he was giving the presentation before the ghost. And I sat there and listened to him, and it was all about tech. I was so excited. Like, I didn't even care about any of the stuff that they were doing there. It was technology. So today I want to talk to you about the technology that I got to see use. And I'll even show you an example of one of them if my video here works. So we're going to talk about ghost hunting technology. And the first device that Bill Scott ever wrote was something called the Oculus. It's hard to say it, I never say it. It's not on the Apple Store, but you can get it on the iPhone. And what this device is you walk around the room with it, and every now and then it will say a word. It's a random word, chair. Oh, it's a chair. There's a chair in the room, right? And so I got to play with this, and it was spitting out words, you know, it's like foot, mad. Just random words every few seconds. So I went up to Bill, and I'm like, how does this thing work? I'm like, this just seems totally random. And he's like, oh, there's absolutely no magic to this. And because he's a skeptic, and he doesn't believe in any of this stuff, he says, whatever, I'm just following their theories and building stuff. And so he explained to me the dirty details about how this device worked. And it was pretty interesting. So I was using the iPhone. And he said what he does is he listens to all the sensors on the phone. The accelerometer, the microphone, and any of the other sensors are available. And when any changes happen in those sensors above a certain threshold, he takes the output from them, adds them all together, gets a number, puts it in a database. It's a dictionary. Says, give me that record with this ID. Totally random sensor output mapped to a record in a database with no algorithm whatsoever. So I'm looking at him like, are you serious? And he's like, yep, that's how it works. He's like, you can build it in a day. It's like, so what's the point? He's like, well, good question. He said, people that believe that ghosts exist believe that they can manipulate energy and that they can do it in an intelligent way. So based on that, he said, I'll drive a device that will allow these ghosts to understand my system and manipulate the sensors in such a way that they can create the work that they want to create. So I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But it sounds like a pretty cool device. And so after learning about this, I went home and kind of did a similar thing with Windows Phone. You have access to all the sensors. I kind of followed that approach, and he's right, you can build it in a day. It didn't work quite as well, but it was spitting out random words, which was kind of cool. So this is the device that kind of put him on the map. People love this. Radio hosts were a cabinet in their desks, like for all the radio shows. And you'll see everyone that goes hunts has one of these, either on their phone or the actual device that they're walking around. And it's like a cat. It's like, oh, that must be a cat. Okay. So that was a pretty interesting device. And the fact that Bill was willing to just like spit out, like, this is a moneymaker, right? He makes tons of money out of this. He's like, yeah, no magic. Totally just random words. The next piece of technology that I was really excited to see them using was the Kinect. So he took a Kinect, modified it a little bit so he could get a different kind of range, so he can kind of go a little bit further than the Kinect. And so you'll see people walking around with these Kinects and trying to pick up phantom skeletons. You know, so they'll be pointing at a wall and maybe a skeleton will appear. And then they say, oh, can you raise your arm? Skeleton may raise his arm. And he's like, oh, it's a ghost, right? Again, he says, total BS. He said there's flaws with the Kinect technology that can cause phantoms to exist. But sometimes those phantoms respond to being asked something, and that's what people say, oh, it must be a ghost. This was a particular interesting piece of technology for me because I actually witnessed something happen. Now, in the Palmer Hotel, you go through the different rooms that are supposedly haunted. The Palmer itself was originally a brothel that was burned down. Lots of people died in the fire. And then the city rebuilt it kind of as a luxury hotel. It was like one of the first hotels in the state, had whirlpools and all this stuff in the rooms. So it was a pretty fancy hotel at its time. But two rooms in particular. There's the Raymond room and the Lucy room. Now Raymond was a pimp who was very, very abusive to women, I guess. And he lived in that room when it was a brothel. And they oftentimes found dead women outside of his door and that sort of thing. So he was apparently a pretty bad guy. So Raymond's room, currently the stories are, well, women that stay there often get really, really sick and have to leave. Or they call an ambulance, which is feeling horrible. So that was one room. The other room is the Lucy room. Lucy was kind of the opposite. She really hated men, and she was a prostitute and would kill men when they came there. Oddly enough, the rooms are right across from each other. So, and they lived there at the same time. So that's kind of weird, right? Totally polar opposites. So what we saw with the Kinect, originally, me and my buddy Roger walked in, kind of stood in front of the Connect like this, you know. We see our skeletons waving at each other. You know, just kind of, I was looking at the Connect like, this is pretty neat, kind of playing with it and seeing how it works. I've used one for video games, but I've never really used it in this way. But nothing happened, right? Like we left, so we walked down the hall to Lucy's room, sat in there, nothing happened. Then one of Roger's friends, who he's met at these events before, was this woman named Lisa, came in and said, Roger, come in here, Raymond's out. And so we walked back across the hall into Raymond's room, and sure enough, Lisa's mom is standing against the wall like this, and she's kind of dancing, whatever, you know. And next to her is a figure dancing. I'm like, so you'll see in the video, I walk up and I'm like looking at the picture, like, no way, there's got to be something going on here. And I'm watching her interact with this thing, and it's like turning to her and doing stuff. And I'm just trying to figure out what's possibly going on. And, you know, I figured it glitched, whatever. And then all of a sudden, he just disappeared. So I'm going to hopefully show you that video here. And I'll actually try to do that now. You guys see that?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Connect. This figure here is Lisa's mom. And this is Raymond, who is 6'4" in real life. So you can see he's quite a bit taller. And you won't be able to make this out, but this is actually the video feed. And what you will see here is, if you could see it with a better video, you'd see Lisa's mom right here. And then you'd see the Phantom Raymond guy there. So I'll go ahead and I'll play this for you.
Full screen that. Right hand. Arm right. There you go.
All right, so. That's me, trying to see what the heck's going on. I'm looking at the computer. So he's kind of holding her, trying to hold her hand here. She's kind of reaching for him, and his arm is kind of going. At this point, I'm looking at the Connect, and I'm saying, is there a Wi-Fi connection? Is there something that they could be doing to influence this?
Mm-hmm.
And so I, at some point here, step into the frame, and you'll see Raymond kind of do this, like he'll turn his butt towards me. Let's see if it will. And at one point, he gets down on his knees and looks like he's kind of trying to propose or something, which is kind of strange. So there he's sticking his butt at me when I walk into the frame. Or what it looks like his butt at me. He's kind of bending over like this. Go down on his knees. Yeah, so now he kind of goes down on like kind of one knee there. And eventually here he'll just disappear. It just goes away. I won't show the rest of it. It's a little bit choppy here. So the good thing was that was the only thing we witnessed in this ghost hunt. Like, you know. Yeah. So Roger, of course, my friend, is into this. He's like, oh my God. He's like, you gotta believe me now. I don't know. So of course we get back to the hotel after the ghost hunt at like 2 in the morning. I'm on Google, on YouTube, trying to find reasons for this. And I did find a couple YouTube videos of a similar thing. And I was kind of reading the comments, and I'm trying to find in my mind like a technical reason this could happen, and I did find it. And my friend said, I'm no fun at all. The reason is that if someone's in the Connect frame, like natively without any alterations, and they step out, and they're kind of close, but the Connect cannot get a full view of it, it will create a phantom. And that phantom, it'll actually imitate based on the history of your movement when you were in frame and try to guess what you might do next. And so when he disappeared there, it was about a second after, or a couple minutes after I got into the frame, and then I left, and then that's when he kind of disappeared. So my estimation is that it wasn't actually Raymond, someone else was in view, stepped out, and the Connect kind of got stuck creating this thing. Roger said, oh, I'm no fun at all. You know, he's like, you're such a skeptic, blah, blah, blah. He still believes it was true. So that's the one interesting thing that happened. And for me, seeing them use the Connect was a really really neat thing. So I guess, in short, do something fun if you get a chance. Do something different, even if you're skeptical about it, and you'll never know what you'll find. I had about a 2-hour conversation with Bill Chappell, all about technology, how he was doing things. I learned a ton about engineering and some of the things that are going into these types of devices from a guy who doesn't believe they actually work. The technology he's building works, but he just doesn't believe this goes. So he equated it to me similar to the porn industry in the web. It's like we wouldn't have JavaScript, how we have JavaScript now, if it wasn't for porn. It's like they were the innovators of JavaScript. It's like sometimes it takes an industry that's not related to tech to push the envelope forward into new types of technology. So that's my speech on dead technology. If you ever get a chance to go on a ghost hunt, it is a lot of fun playing with these devices, and it's just something different. So with that, I'll turn it back over to our Toastmaster, William.
Thank you, Brad. Very entertaining speech, thank you. Our next speaker will be Mike Venkovich, and he will be speaking an introduction about Mike. Mike is also a very well-known speaker in the area. I have seen Mike speak many, many, many times. Even very, very early in my career, I saw Mike do some speaking. He has spoken personally with some good friends of mine. So Mike is a very well-known guy. Let us introduce him now for his speech called "Do You Want an IPA?"
Thank you, William. So Toastmasters, let's just get this thing set up here. One of the interesting things about what you do, what did you do? I was at a class reunion recently. Has anyone done a class reunions? How many years has it been? 10, 15, 12, maybe more? So I was at this class reunion, and people are walking around, you're talking to everybody, and everyone else says, so what do you do? And, what is it that you do for a living? I was at a family reunion this last weekend. I went down to all of us come together, all of my cousins, everyone is sitting down. And you think that, okay, well, we're in the same family, they should know what it is you do. And the challenge is trying to put that to work, because technology, people, we computer stuff. So my cousin Andy said, well, if I found my computer, should I call you? I said, absolutely not. Why would you call me? I don't know what thing one about how to fix a computer. I do IPAs. I like IPAs. Who likes IPAs? Anybody? What is an IPA? Yeah. India Pale Ale. It's actually related to beer. And if you think about the best things in life, you can always explain it in terms of beer. It comes down to maybe back when I was first job out of college was doing something where I was working for Fairlift and we were doing a warehouse system, and I was trying to understand the replenishment system. And the engineer I was working with said, well, let me explain in terms of beer. Suppose you go to the fridge and you got a maximum amount of fridge control, you've got a minimum amount that you want to replenish. And so when it gets down below a certain level, you need to go on to replenishment. And so using the concept, the paradigm of using beer, we were able to explain what replenishment was and how we could put this stuff together. So with that in mind, and thinking about the beerology of life, IPA, which is a phrase for retail ale, also stands for what I do. Imagine, plan, and act. Who wants to start something? Anything. Start a business. Maybe I'm an entrepreneur, I want to start a club, I want to start something interesting. You keep it in terms of IPA, from beer, we can translate and measure whether or not we're actually being good at this, and we come up with how we can be successful with whatever it is that we're going out to do. Imagine, IPA, imagine is thinking in terms of, and in fact, let me work this down, run it over here. Big format here. imagine, have an idea. Mike Gerber wrote a book called The E. And in this book, he talks about the entrepreneurial spirit, this spark to go out and do something. When I go out to conferences, I do this talk on mobile madness. I ask, I start out saying, who wants to build an app, right? And that room, usually about half of the hands go up, because that's why they came to my talk, because they want to build an app. It's that idea of what that app is and how I can turn that into something to be a business. And I can be rich, and famous, and do all of those kinds of things. So creating an idea, the imagining is how do I get started with whatever that idea is. But that spark of what that idea is really just that first step of things. If you think about it, that spark of imagination is really something that happens fairly quickly. It doesn't last for months, it doesn't last for weeks or years. You look at Best Buy, that was an idea that someone had about how I can put best prices on something and turn it into this retail giant. Well, that comes to the second part, which is the P in IPA. What is the P? Planning. Planning is coming up with how do we actually expect ourselves to go from that idea into something that's monetizable, into something we can actually turn into money and get something to return on equity to the shareholders so that they have some reason for going forward. So if you think about IPA, where we have the I is imagine, P is the plan. How do you plan to make this idea something more than just what it is? So imagine and planning. Dwight Eisenhower, after World War II, was interviewed and he was talking about his strategy for being able to go into Normandy and D-Day and all of the work that went into it. And he said, so you must be really good. That plan must have been everything. And Eisenhower turned to the reporter and said, the plan is nothing, but planning is everything. And it's understanding how do I anticipate and respond, how do I think through in my head before I'm actually in that point of action. At that point of action, everything goes out the window. I am responding. I'm using that body muscle memory, just like professional golfers. They did a study where they put brain sensors onto professional golfers, and they were like wondering, okay, what are they thinking? They're getting up at that ball, and they're getting ready to putt that last putt. And on the amateur golfer, there's all these things going on. The brain is like fireworks, like popcorn exploding all over the place. But on these professional golfers, they go up to do the putt, and all of a sudden it just flattens. Because the brain would shut off, and the muscle memory kicks in, and they would putt, and they would make their putt, and then they go on to the next thing. And it is understanding that action happens from muscle memory. It's not that you don't practice, but it's that you practice so much that you don't have to think about it when you're actually doing it. So planning and having a plan is extremely important, but being able to let go of the plan while you're in that field of battle, while you're, everything is coming down on you, you need to be able to respond and work with that muscle memory. However, I've been a part of startups from the time that I left college. In fact, even before I left college, my dad started an ad agency back in the 70s. So I've kind of been around this whole startup thing. I was going back to company. I think 7th or 8th startup, depending on how you look at it. One I was part of a startup across the street here, where Title Insurance. We went from 5 people to 60 people in a year. That's a high octane startup. I was part of a consulting company with my brother. We started it in 1994. We grew it to 12 or 15 people before we finally shut it down 10 to 12 years later. We went with other things. In the meantime, I had a startup that was called Real Easy Video, which was would have been a competition to what Netflix is today. However, I didn't get funding and I didn't really finish acting out on things. If I had, boy, I wouldn't be sitting here. Somewhere in Silicon Valley. Reality is that acting is understanding that you have to take that plan and that idea and you have to turn it into something. And in all of the startups I've been with, that have been successful are able to go from that initial action of having that idea to starting something. A dream is that. A goal is a dream with a deadline. I'm going to do that by Thursday. I'm going to start this by next week. I'm going to do that today. And so the last part of IPA is imagine, plan, and act. And acting is going forward and actually making something happen. And it is going to that point where I've got something that started, we're now putting, the ball is down its way. Remember that with that action, that there is a goal of that, which is to provide margin to fuel that mission. So the last part of my IPA is act. Imagine, plan, and act. And when you think of IPAs and someone says, do you want an IPA? Think back to your dream. And can you come up with 3 things that will make it happen? Mr. Cook.
Thank you, Mike. 2 great speeches today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to vote on the best speaker. I'm sorry. I introduce our general evaluator, Alex. You vote. Please welcome Alex.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So we are totally out of time, so let's do it extremely fast. Please close your eyes and we will vote for best speaker. First, Brad with his dead technology. Please raise your hand. Thank you. Second, vote for Mike with IPA. Please raise your hand. Thank you. So now open your eyes. Let's go now to evaluation. And I would like to ask evaluators, do 1 minute evaluation because we are out of time for that. So, Brad, you will be evaluated by Nick. Yes, Nick, please give a Brad evaluation.
Brett, thank you very much. Excellent topic. Thank you for those. This story about the debt technology. Well, again, story of debt technology. I know the debt, right? So most people believe. I'll get the medical out with JavaScript and all that. This is actually another reason I like those matches. We're learning like Monday learn about debt technologies, IPAs, all this stuff. So yes, there's a huge jump here. All right, so the good things. Really like the visuals. Really focus like very nice. Really like the presentation style. Charged up full of energy. You always are. Different stage, just double that. Strong voice, more variety, right gestures. You mentioned manipulating energy in your speech. Well, I think this is the strongest feature is you actually know how to manipulate energy on stage. So really maybe to jump, maybe just or adding something there is just keep doing it. Whatever you're doing is keep doing it. The only thing I can say you might need to do is like the very beginning of your speech, you have like a real little eye contact. I didn't get that from eye contact for the first couple of minutes. I think first eye contact, initial eye contact, is just like first impression. Very important. So with that, just keep doing what you're doing. That was awesome.
Next, we will do evaluation of Mike's speech by me.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you, Mike, for a great speech. Do you want an IPA? Yes, I do. One thing, great, you are getting into the Competent Communicator Manual. That's fantastic. The best things I wanted to mention in my truncated time, obviously I have a lot more notes to look at, but I felt that the most important thing for organizing your speech was the organization of your speech. That was very, very good and concrete. You had I, you had P, you had A. You engaged the audience multiple times. The minimalistic tech that you used was actually really engaging. The fact that you typed it out and everything was actually quite engaging. You also engaged the audience by asking questions like that. I think that your gestures were fantastic. But you had a lot of gestures, but none of them seemed superfluous. They seemed like they were really bringing it. When you're listing things off, you're going like this. When you were talking about golfing and hunting and stuff like that, everything seemed to add value. So that was really important. As far as improvements concerned, I thought that while your introduction was captivating because it said, hey, raise your hand if blah, 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 I didn't feel that it really related to the topic. And as far as transitions are concerned, I thought they were a little bit of work. But beyond that, I think that as far as accomplishing your goals for organizing your speech, I think you did a great job. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Vince. Now, please close your eyes. We will vote for best evaluator. Close your eyes. First is Nick, who evaluated Brett. Please raise your hands. Thank you. So next is Vince, who evaluated Mike. Please raise your hands. Thank you. All right. So now we go in with reports. First report will be by timer. It is me. So 1 minute Toastmaster was 1 minute 10 seconds. Table topics, longest was 1 minute 45, but very close everybody. Me, Vince, 1 minute 40. Jonathan was 1 minute 25. Will 1 minute. Speeches, Brad, you went 13 minutes on 8 to 10. Mike went 9 minutes 40 seconds on 5 to 7. So if you win in contest end of time 7 minutes is cut, so you will be disqualified in this. Evaluation, Nick 1 minute, Vince 1 minute 10. Timer report, Romanian, would you like to give us any report?
I don't have a report.
Any awards for award picture of the day? Okay. The Golden Award for picture of the day. Let's go about Vice Hall for table topics.
Okay. Table topics. I like pretty much what everybody had to say because everybody put some thought into it. What I'd like to do today is offer this to Jonathan for stepping up first time. And you did have some good ideas. I started off with a little humorous punch.
Great, thank you, Tony. Next is visual award, and I give it to Brett for his very, very nice presentation. Can I bring it back? This one. Oh,
PowerPoint.
Not very often we get to see a ghost.
what I like it with approach and then with the flag and the stuff. So this is, I think, and the next, what is done by general evaluator is we go with keys for best evaluation and best speaker award. So best evaluator goes today to Nick. And drum roll, please. This happens on Since we are short on time, this is my evaluation of a meeting. We need to, especially Toastmaster, kind of pre-plan meeting, how long the table topic should go, how long the speech is approximately, so timer can monitor it and raise flags. Because we are a little bit over time, 4 minutes, and we still have a meeting to go. Overall, this is one of good energizing meetings with good attendance in the last couple of months, so this is great. Please keep it up, bring more people, and I would like to bring back our Toastmaster field.
For a bunch of introverts, we really like to talk, don't we? Myself included. I get to award 2 awards. This is a spark plug for the person who got the most energy. To the meeting today. I don't think there's any question. Today I'm awarding this to Vince. And the other award that I'm allowed to give out is our fuzzy mouse. Best explanation of a technical topic in a non-technical way. I believe this one's going to Brett today. I'm allowed to add some comments closing the meeting. I'm going to skip that today. I'm going to introduce our club president to close our meeting. Vince?
Thank you, Will. Thank you for a tight co-sponsorship. I'm definitely not going to allow you to take the blame for us going over. I'm going to accept that wholeheartedly. Not only did we started a little bit slowly, but also we went a little bit long for a lot of things as far as the business meeting is concerned. The idea here is that we're going to be getting a lot of things off our plates as we finish things, that things will go a lot faster. And also, we're going to make sure that we don't start kind of hard. We're trying to get a bunch of things added. But once we get them done, once we get the account rolling and everything, we just come in, sign in, we're good to go. Then it'll be a lot faster. I apologize for that. So let's see. Does anybody have any last minute business to add? Oh, wow, that's a great idea. Is there a second to go to the Power Talk Toastmasters group next Monday in lieu of the TechMasters Meeting next week? Is there a second? Is there any discussion? That's right.
You will, President, will use all of them.
I absolutely will. I will send it to everybody here and everybody who's not on the roster. Okay. If this passes. Any other discussion? I think that's something. So the idea here is that I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be able to help out at anything. That's the biggest concern in the world. So it's close up to more building everything. But if we don't do this thing, somebody else is going to be webcasting and all that. I'm going to be logging in and make sure it all happens like that. Also, it will be a really good move to the club. We'll bring in a ton of guests, people to try to make the activity and and maybe when they are listening, they'll say, and they will also get us on the district website. They'll be like, hey, TechMasters has the gavel and stuff like that. So I'm wholly in favor of this. It also, you can go ahead and show a little bit, like to do that. Also, you'll be able to see that different club operating with new skills. So, any other discussion? I'd like to call for vote on this. All those in favor of eschewing next week's meeting and going to the Power Talk Toastmasters meeting on Monday morning, 6:30 or later. Please get it. Aye. All those opposed?
Wait a second. What are we doing? We're going to a different meeting this week?
Next week, I don't know if you're joking. So next week we're not going to have a meeting. We're going to do it on Monday instead. We're going to hijack the Power Talk meeting.
So I'm Toastmaster next week.
We're going
to on Monday?
We're not going to be in it. There's going to be a guest, maybe a tabletop. Feel free to when we get there, if you want to evaluate or something else. Feel free to step up. But what we'll do, I'll talk to Alex about moving the schedule. Either we just cancel the whole meeting and resolve it, or we move it back.
Section 11 and 18 is going to tell it contest.
Yeah, exactly. But we're not going to change the meeting too much. We're just going to make sure we have teachers. You don't wreck the whole thing. Okay. Any other discussion?
How many people have to show up to get the job?
Two. More than at least two. Everybody's going to go, right? We're not just going to be like, well, no. You have to have at least two. But if another club goes there, there's other clubs will go. And they have like 3 people showing up, well, then it's all it's all for naught. So that's another reason why I wanted to cancel the meeting, because I didn't want people to say, oh, 2 early morning meetings is awful. Only 1 next week. Then we all go, darn it, except for me, because I'm preoccupied. But I would go, I promise you that. So we're all going to go, except for me, and we're all going to take the guild gavel, right? Got it? We already voted. We already said yes, and then I was going to say all the names. So all opposed? All right. The ayes have it. We're going to be canceling our meeting. You're all going to go. That just means don't go. That means go, right? And with that, I will. Any other announcements to have? No more announcements? All right, great. I will send all the details out, and with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Wait a second. I will turn it over to our vacation timer. See if we have closing time for the day.
Yeah. Everybody, have a great week.
You got it. See each other. Oh, I forgot it now. My brother-in-law likes to make apples for fun. Ours is a piece of garbage, so he's going to make them. You literally make the gavel for fun. It's like 100 flying around.